So it truly saddens me that it's come to this, but at this point, Dr. Deborah Birx, one of the doctors that frequently participates in Trump's coronavirus press briefings, we probably can't trust her anymore. She's become, sadly, a political tool for Trump, repeating absolutely unbelievable praise about Trump that none of us would believe for even a fraction of a second. Instead of just telling things like they are, Dr. Birx was recently interviewed by the Christian Broadcasting Network, a disgusting right-wing media outlet. She seemed to have been lobotomized, to pick a slightly hyperbolic term, compared to how she used to talk about what we're dealing with. Check this out. Dr. Deborah Birx, response coordinator for the White House Coronavirus Task Force, long history of working productively in infectious disease, immunology. She was Obama's global AIDS coordinator. But slowly but surely, during this coronavirus situation, more and more just deferring to Trump, pretending like Trump is some kind of genius with this stuff. Check out this clip from her CBN interview. She says Trump is amazing. He's analyzing data. He's integrating that data to make the best decisions about coronavirus. Guys, Trump 2 days ago said he didn't know whether it was a flu, a germ, or a virus. Trump admitted yesterday that he learned a worst case mortality estimate was 2.2 million deaths. Yesterday, Trump learned that yesterday. OK, here is Dr. Birx functioning almost like she's had a piece of her brain removed.
How would you describe the job President Trump is doing behind the scenes and in front of the cameras during these daily briefings that we're seeing? What's been your perspective, Dr. Birx?
He's been so attentive to the scientific literature and the details and the data. And I think his ability to analyze and integrate data that comes out of his long history in business has really been a real benefit during these discussions about medical issues.
Attentive to data? Can you imagine? Trump's presidential daily briefings were reduced from a binder of reports to one page with just a few bullet points and a couple of pictures. Trump can't pay attention to anything. He has the attention span of a fruit fly. And Dr. Birx says, thanks to Trump's attentiveness to data, he's really taking the data into consideration. Here's more of her interview.
Because in the end, data is data, and he understands the importance of the granularity. And I think he's been really excited about finding the level of detail that we've been able to now bring over the last few weeks to really understand who's at the greatest risk for severe illness, who will have mild and less and asymptomatic disease, and really calling on every American to do that social distancing, because some people may not know they're actually infected and be unknowingly spreading the virus. And that all comes from the president seeing the data and then really directing these policies and these guidelines that go out to the American people.
Trump understands the importance of the granularity and finding a level of detail. What? Who is she describing? It's not even plausibly believable that this is the Trump, that this is how Trump is managing this. The guy learned 2 days ago about mortality models that we've had for weeks and weeks. So for me, this instantly raises major questions about Dr. Birx's trustworthiness. We know Trump doesn't read ever. Trump doesn't read, never mind being attentive to the data. It's truly incredible garbage. It's very clear what's going on. She wants to stay on Trump's good side. She has learned the only way to do that is to praise Donald Trump. He's incompetent. He's clueless. He's an existential threat to the country. But Dr. Birx has been fully sucked in. So we've got Dr. Anthony Fauci now. That's the guy we have left. He clearly is also being very careful not to get Donald Trump mad at him. The thing about Fauci is, in interviews where Trump isn't standing next to him, he's a little bit more of a truth teller. And here was another non-answer from Dr. Birx when the question was asked, you've been promising X number of tests, some huge number. You've been promising this huge number of tests for weeks, and they're not there. Here is how Dr. Birx answered with one of these complete non-answer talking point comas.
We're learning I know you know last week in bringing the private sector, I think what has been exciting to me over the last 2.5 weeks is to see this administration harness the full capacity of the private sector, understanding that a lot of our solutions that we need to confront this virus rely on the private sector. Bringing the private sector commercial labs was critical into this process. We are now beginning to see that they have spread out in a prioritized way because we asked them to prioritize the regions that were mostly affected. And so you still may have difficulty getting tests in areas that do not have significant cases.
It really makes me sad to say it, but we just can't really trust Dr. Birx anymore to be giving us the unvarnished medical and scientific truth. She's giving us political statements calculated not to upset Donald Trump. We need doctors just telling us the truth, not political people trying to avoid upsetting Donald Trump.